Hey y'all, Trisha Stetzel here, and I serve those who are serving others. So, welcome to this week's episode of Serving the Community podcast. I created this podcast to highlight people and organizations in our own communities who are serving others and giving back to make our communities, our country, and sometimes even the world a kinder place to live. And serving doesn't just make your heart feel good. You probably heard that some studies have shown that there are mental and physical health benefits to serving, like reducing depression, lowering blood pressure, and even lengthening your lifespan. Putting other people's needs before yours also strengthens your relationships. It connects you with the ones you are serving. And if that someone is someone you know, it creates a stronger bond with them. Serving also enriches other people's lives. And perhaps the best benefit of serving is the chance that person paying it forward. If you help someone, they're more likely to do something nice for someone else that day. Your one act of kindness could have a major domino effect. It's like the pebble on the pond, creating that ripple effect. Now, it's time to talk to our amazing giver this week. Podcast. I'm so excited about the organization and the woman who is the CEO of this organization on the show today. So Helen Stagg is the CEO of Civic Heart Community Services. It's a community-based social service organization here in Houston, Texas. And you could probably read about it in the show notes, but I would like everyone who's just watching the show to know that Civic Heart is one of the largest Black-founded, Black-led organizations in the greater Gulf Coast region of Texas. Civic Heart's mission is to help people empower themselves. Helen, I'm so excited to have you on the show. Welcome.
Thank you very much. It's a pleasure to be here, and thank you for the invitation to tell everybody about the amazing and good work that Civic Heart is doing in our community.
Yeah, absolutely. And one of the things that you and I touched on just before we started recording the show this morning is that you've had a name change. So I want to talk a little bit about that just in case people might recognize your organization from a different name, which is now called Civic Heart, right? Civic Heart Community Services. So tell us about the name change, Helen.
Many people may know us by Change Happens. We've been around for about 34 years, and we are growing, we're expanding, we are having, changing many of the activities and the programs that we do. And we looked around and decided that one of the things in expanding our programs, we've become more of a social service organization, offering a wide variety of programs and services. And we see ourselves as a organization that is a citizen of the community with the responsibilities to help enrich the lives of others. So we started on a process about 2 years ago to discover and really go through the process of aligning our values, our mission with a name that would certainly exemplify who we were. And on April the 28th of this year, we made that announcement at our annual spring breakfast about our name change to Civic Heart Community Services.
I love that. Thank you, Helen, for sharing that story. So I would love for our audience to get to know you a little better. So who is Helen Stagg and how did you get involved in this organization?
Well, I've been with Civic Heart for about 23 years. I started my career in state government, and then I moved over to the nonprofit arena. I've occupied many roles within the organization, and then I've been the CEO for the last 3 years. So during that period of time, we've seen the organization grow. We've seen our organizational budget increase by over 240%. We've expanded the number of staff that we have to over 75. We are now in 59 counties throughout Texas. So we've seen a really growth in the organization. And the programs and services that we are implementing and expanding have been really phenomenal.
Yeah, that's wonderful. And again, I'm so excited to have you on today because Civic Heart Community Services covers such a plethora of things. So can you talk about some of the things that Civic Heart is doing for folks in the community and what you're really focused on?
Yes, you're right. We have a wide array of services. We believe in this holistic approach. You know, Audre Lorde said, you don't meet people who have a single issue life. And that's what we found. We started out as a substance misuse treatment program, but it wasn't just that problem. There were issues of housing and access to health care. And so we've responded to those needs with these over 25 programs today. But just to give a focus on a few, one of the things that we do is that we believe in collaboration. We believe that there's nothing that this organization can do alone, that it takes all of us. So we have a capacity building and training program for other local nonprofit, small grassroots organizations who are passionate about the work, but also need some help and assistance in building their capacity. So we provide training to those organizations. Currently, we have 7 of them that we're working with to help with issues of governance and evaluation and getting funding and all sorts of things that grassroots growing organizations need. We also provide mentoring to boys and young men of color. We provide mentoring to youth who are involved in the justice system, transitioning back to their communities. We provide a whole array of services, including the mentoring, case management, all kinds of services that help them to be productive in the community, to not go back into the criminal justice system, and to have a caring adult in their lives as well. We provide health insurance enrollment for people. Texas has millions of people who are not who do not have health insurance. And one of the things that we do is to help with the enrollment and access to health care so that they can have care for prevention of illnesses and diseases, but also treatment for those things that may be chronic illnesses that they have. So those are a few of the programs that we have, and we have a whole array of 25 more that would take a long time to go through. But our services are to meet the demands of people in our community, low income, disadvantaged communities, vulnerable communities who don't have access to the things that we are providing.
Yeah, that's amazing. And you do have so many things that you can provide back into the community, but the uninsured individuals that can gain access to healthcare through your organization, or the enrichment programs designed for positive youth development that you talked about, and also the capacity building and technical assistance that you provide to people in the community is just amazing. Just a note, I'll break in here. If anybody's curious and wants to go to the website, it is civicheart.org, civicheart.org, and you can take a look at some of the other programs that are out there that Civic Heart Community Services is providing. So, Helen, I would love for you to tell people how they might get involved in your organization.
Well, we have many opportunities. We have over 287 volunteers, but we find that we can always use more volunteers. And there are various opportunities to volunteer. You can volunteer on a regular basis. You can come in and volunteer. You can volunteer on a virtual basis. You can also volunteer on a special project or done in the day kind of activity as well. And to do that, if you visit our website, civicheart.org, you'll find information on how to volunteer and go through that process as well. We have opportunities certainly for to set up if you'd like to make donations or sponsor a child or an event. You can also visit our website to find information about those opportunities to donate. We'd also like to invite you to come by and just take a tour. We are in a new space, a new building that we moved into on June the 1st, here in the heart of Third Ward on Emancipation Avenue. But we'd invite you to come in, learn more about our programs, meet our staff, and see what we're doing here. So there are all kinds of ways to get involved.
Yeah, I love that, Helen. So let's talk about an event that you have coming up in the fall. And by the way, all of you listeners out there who are business owners who love to sponsor events, I want you to open your ears, because I'll bet that there's some opportunity where our local business owners could come in and actually help sponsor this event. So Helen, tell us about that.
Well, we have an annual event that's always in the fall. We call it our fall luncheon, and it's coming up on Friday, November the 3rd. And it is an opportunity that we invite people to come out and learn more, not only about the programs and services, but also about the impact that we're having, being able to meet some of the people that we've helped during the year, and to meet other network and partners that we've collaborated with. So that event is on November the 3rd. It is also listed on our website. So if you're interested in getting tickets or even participating in any way or sponsoring, you can go to our website and find out more information about it as well. We have an event coming up on August the 12th as well. It's our annual Children's Health Day. And we've started that 21 years ago, where we began what's grown now to many organizations having a back to school drive. But we were one of the original founders 21 years ago. So, and it has grown as well, where we bring in over 70 providers to come in and help children prepare for school, give away backpacks, school supplies, and those kinds of items. And we'll be at Alameda Mall on the 12th of August with that event.
Wonderful. And Helen, is there anything that listeners can do ahead of that event on August 12th? Monetary donations or backpack donations, something like that?
Yes, they can make monetary donations, backpack donations. In fact, we're going to be giving out backpacks at a local school here in Third Ward. And so anyone who would like to participate not only in making a donation, but to come out and help us pass out. It's going to be a drive-through event where we work with parents and families to provide backpacks and school supplies to them. So you can visit our website for more information on that, civicheart.org, to learn about opportunities to do that.
Wonderful. And one of the things that I want to draw out today before we start to wrap up is, in your story, I see that you're making a difference to 65,000 people in the community. And I believe that's every year that your organization is helping 65,000 people. That is a huge reach, Helen. Thank you so much for being in the community and making such a big difference.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
So Helen, as we close, I would love to hear one of your favorite stories about someone that you've helped or supported through your organization.
Well, I talked a little bit about our Boys and Young Men of Color mentoring program, and we help young men who come from single parent homes, live in disadvantaged communities, attend a local high school. We provide a mentor who serves as a caring adult and works with them, someone that they can talk with and share information with. We know that mentoring works. The statistics, the data indicate that people who go through mentoring improve their academic performance. They don't get into the criminal justice system. And we're finding that the data, and we have evaluation and outcome measures for all of our programs. We're finding that data matches this. And we have one young man in particular that I'll just call out in terms of going through the program and doing really improved work in school. And over the 2-year period, by the time that he was graduating, he had set his sights on college. He received scholarships, and now he's serving his first year in college. So it's one of those stories where you actually see someone come in and take advantage of the opportunity to be mentored and to get that support and the services that we provided, supportive services, and use that to their advantage to improve their academic performance and get accepted into college.
That's amazing. Thank you for sharing that story, Helen. That's always my favorite thing to ask as we wrap up, because that's why we're all here, right? Is to see the difference that we're making as we're doing our community service. Again, thank you so much, Helen, for being on the show today. Thank you for being a giant part of the community and for being the lead of Civic Heart Community Services today. Helen, besides the website, is there any other contact information that you would like to give to the listeners today?
The listeners can reach out to me directly and personally as well at hstagg, S-T-A-G-G, at civicheart.org. And I welcome and look forward to hearing from people and how we can help and assist. I'd also like this opportunity to thank the amazing and talented group of people who work here. There's nothing that I do that that I can do alone as well. And so they are really the stars in our program.
Fantastic. So wonderful job to the team at Civic Heart Community Services. And Helen, again, thank you for being on the show. For all of the listeners, I will have in the show notes the Facebook page, the Instagram page, Twitter, LinkedIn, YouTube, and the website. So if you want to connect with Civic Heart Community Services, you're welcome to do that through any of those links. Again, Helen, thank you so much for being on the show today.
Thank you. It was a pleasure, and I'm grateful to have received the invitation. Thank you very much.
Thank you. And that concludes this week's episode of Serving the Community. Thanks so much for listening today. There are so many great things about our modern world, but the people in it should be at the top of that list. Taking a genuine interest in your family, friends, neighbors, and even strangers is one of the most rewarding decisions you can make for yourself and those around you that you choose to serve. If you enjoyed this episode of Serving the Community, be sure to subscribe so that you're notified when a new episode is posted. Please rate and review this episode and be sure to share with your connections. You can also find out more about what I'm up to at trishastetzel.com.